be here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Look at those beautiful colors. Beautiful sunshine there on the grass field at BB&T Field. And the Demon Deacons hoping to do some changing of their own. Not just the leaves here, but change the direction of this season. They're 2-5 right now. Get back to the winning ways and change the tide in this football game. As Alec Howell boots it away to Armstrong. A little bit of trouble. And about the same result as kickoff number 1. Let's go back and take a look at the beginnings of that 33-yard touchdown run.
You're going to see the big O lineman here. They're going to pull this way, but watch the defender who misses his keys, even though his keys are telling him to go with the flow. Now he pauses hesitates for a second, and then look at this. That's the running lane you're looking at, and with your deep middle field defender having to come a long way to try to tackle Hilleman, who has a full head of steam. That's see you later. Bye-bye. Hilleman taking it to the house. 33 yards for the freshman.
Speaking of a long way, Border was blocking 30 yards away down the field. These receivers have done an excellent job on the edges. That helps you get those big plays. Very much a delay on that draw, the handoff to Des Wortham. And Stephen Daniels, the big bad middle linebacker, there waiting on him. So a second down and 10. No gain here. Something has got to get going for Dave Clawson's offense. Time of possession in that first quarter, Coy, 11:41 for the Eagles, only 3:19 for Wake. They've got to give that defense that can make some plays a little bit of rest.
Yeah, that's what this Boston College offense does. They average 33, 34 minutes every game. They run the ball 70% of the time. They eat up the time.
Here's Sylvia off the edge. Blitz is picked up. Good coverage and flags late. Stephen Daniels too early. Perhaps as E.J. Scott, the intended receiver, they've really looked for him over the middle of the field. But that backside hand might have been hanging on the shoulder pads of number 17.
Holding on the defense, number 17, on a legal forward pass. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Okay, it was defense number 52 on offense number 17, E.J. Scott.
Yeah, Stephen Daniels there working as the 3-receiver hook. He's the middle defender there who's going to take anyone who becomes the third wide receiver, sitting it down in the middle. E.J. Scott, he's 5'11", 180. He's slippery. Too slippery on that play for the big 6'3", 257-pound Stephen Daniels, middle linebacker for BC.
One of the least penalized teams in the nation, BC. Adazio very upset. Here comes the heat. Trying to run away from it is Wolford, but he can't get away from 93, big Kevin Cavalier.
There's Cavalier flashing. You're going to see the right guard get stepped on. Actually, it was the center who fell back, and now it's just a complete breakdown. But how about the hustle? Kevin Cavalier coming all the way from the backside, had to beat his blocker. That's the hustle you're talking about. That's why Kevin Cavalier is one of the best players on this team, not just the defensive side of the ball.
Third tackle for loss already for the Eagle defense. Connor Wojak brought the pressure on that last play as well. Again, blitz shown, blitz coming. They bring them all. Pressure's there and drop. Big sack. This time it's Mike Strezak, the will linebacker. He came one gap. Right next to him was Stephen Daniels. Pick your poison. Another big loss.
Coming straight in the A gaps right there. The center has to take one. The other one's left for the running back, Des Wortham, there on that play. And Strezak, he said, I'm getting home. You better believe that. No one was going to stop him on that one, especially not a running back. He's like smelling blood in the water there when he sees that quarterback. Wake picking up the tempo here, trying to see if they can get a read, force Boston College to show their hand on this 3rd and long.
Expect a draw here, Stephen Daniels in the middle, just stop the bleeding. And in essence, that the zone read. They'll run it up the middle and punt to live another down. A lot of the turnovers, Coy, have come on 3rd downs for this Wake Forest offense. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, of the turnovers for Dave Clawson's offense, 6 of them have been returned for immediate touchdowns. So it's just killing the total defensive numbers, but a lot of them come on 3rd down when they're trying to make something big happen, a smart play there.
It just seems as this team starts to gather some momentum, and even last week in their game against Syracuse, they put together the longest drive of the season, a 91-yard drive. and then they have the mishaps happen, as you spoke of, and the wind comes out of those sails. They fought that all season, Batesy.
Well, Canal's punt goes right out of bounds immediately after crossing midfield. There were 2 flags on the other side of the field. It's a 40-yard punt, if it stands, for one of the better punters, a guy that has yet to have a touchback on the season, Alex Canal.
Yeah, they're down here near the sideline where the gunner was outside for Wake Forest, so there may have been a hold or a hands to face down here on the perimeter. Again, Steve Adazio, he's an extremely detailed football coach. This is the least penalized team in the ACC. Already 2 penalties in this game. Very uncharacteristic of the Boston College Eagles.
During the kick, holding by the receiving team, number 37. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's what we thought, Batesy.
Pat Garvey and crew, they've been busy early. Not always what you get when you've got BC in town. What a beautiful town it is. Great day here today, especially if you're an Eagle so far. With 12:01 left before halftime, we'll give you our Hyundai game summary. And how about the total yard difference, Coy? 132 to -1. Already 4 tackles for loss by the Boston College defense. Just got their 2nd sack here today. In time of possession, needless to say, in big-time favor of the guys in all-white unis. A keeper for Murphy. He'll get about 5. And dropped by Grant Dawson, the Buck linebacker. Ejiofor in there as well. Tyler Murphy, how about this? You know, Doug Flutie, all the quarterbacks that have come through, and it's the fact that no quarterback had ever rushed for 100 yards at Boston College, and now Murphy is averaging almost 110 a game, the leading rushing quarterback in the nation. That's Chubb bringing down Hilliman. Hilliman, by the way, is our Hardy star to watch, the freshman who was on his way to Rutgers, but he changed his mind. Maybe just wanted to go to O-line U. The big boys blocking for him in 32, doing the rest. He's gotten better every single game. The confidence has just grown and grown, and it really has turned into quite a punch, Coy. The 1-2 knockout of Miles Willis and John Hilliman for one of the nation's top running teams. There's Bordner. Will switch sides. Empty set for Murphy again. And incomplete pass as he tried to come right back to Sherman Alston. Ejiofor with the pressure.
Trying to devise ways to get the ball in the hands of Sherman Alston. That time they had 4 wide receivers to the sideline of their bench, and Alston all by himself to the other side of the field. They tried to get a little throwback screen to him. Good job by Wake Forest sniffing it out.
First punt of the day for Alex Howell, who already has a field goal for BC. He'll punt it away to Jared Crump. Crump from his own 15. And about the same spot they've started all day long. Wake will come back out after that 43-yard punt to start from their own 20, trying to get their first points of the day. ACC football is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC. AT&T, Geico, Ruby Tuesday, and by New York Life Insurance Company. Well, they say rubbing is racing, so is Bowman Gray Stadium, the quarter-mile asphalt flat oval track. Winston-Salem State University football stadium now. NASCAR's longest-running weekly racetrack, opened in 1937. Oh, the summer nights over there. Richard Petty actually ran there. Here's Isaiah Robinson in the game now, his first carry. Okay, Coy, you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
If you don't pass this test, you're going to have to leave the booth, and we'll get Olivia Harlan to finish up for you.
Oh, no.
You got to know that she come to North Carolina.
She can handle it, though.
What number did Richard Petty, what number was Richard Petty?
Richard Petty.
Side of his coat.
43.
Oh, Batesy, that's all you have for me? My pappy, Ron Taylor, used to ride on dirt tracks back in the day. I've been to Dega, baby. You need to bring something better than that.
You know that, and you played against all those NASCAR offenses out in the Pac-10, Pac-12 now, around all those guys. Coy Wire here with me, Pac-10 champion. third-round draft pick to the Buffalo Bills in the NFL. Robinson lowers his shoulder as he tries to get outside. Finally, the Golden Bonnets there to stop him. Sean Sylvia, the safety, and a short gain. Looked like he was going to get it turned there.
Deeks tried to pull 2 linemen from the backside and had great pursuit by Boston College. They're really just flying all over the field today, playing disciplined football. There's really nowhere for Deacon runners to go when they've tried to hit them on the ground.
They've got to find a way to stay on the field here. 0 for 2 on third down. This offense, Daniels walking up showing blitz. The middle linebacker's coming. Strezak on a delayed blitz. Good pickup. Plenty of time. And ball thrown just too strong by the freshman. Laying out for it was E.J. Scott. He had some room, but number 10 can't connect with him, and so it will be another 3 and out.
You can see Wolford back there trying to wait for his receiver to clear. He actually had him, just missed him a bit high and wide. Great effort by E.J. Scott to go up, try to bring it down. Good protection that time by the offensive line. Just a misfire there by Wolford.
So what should be decent field position after this one? Oh, wow. Flags come down and the whistles will blow. Don't know that it was.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Boston College, first timeout of the half.
Was it designed, Coy? From the look on Clausen's face, it looks like maybe.
I think they only had 10 players on the field, and they called it timeout, luckily for them. There we had it. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. Luckily, Coach Adazio caught it, called the timeout, because Hunter took off and ran. It would have been a big gain, and they would have kept the drive alive. Good catch by Coach Adazio on that play.
Well, the former Aussie Rules player from South Australia. He'll kick this one low and end over end. Canole. And he was going to run forever. Very tough guy, too. And this one will get a nice Wake Forest roll deep into BC territory. How about some stories around the ACC? And we start, of course, last Saturday night back in Tallahassee. Number 5 goes down, but there was plenty of drama.
Oh, so much drama, but it was rightfully so. How about Duke? Therefore, how are they not rated in the top 25 in the coaches or AP poll? These guys are on fire.
Well, and speaking of those Seminoles, the weekend off, Louisville as well. Guess who they got back? Devontae Parker. 9 catches, 132 yards in the win over NC State. Parker's back. Oh, by the way, Michael Dyer, too. 173 yards for that back, and more on the ground here for Hilleman, the freshman. Just had a 33-yard touchdown run. Here he's pushed into the corner of the bench in the trash can, but looks to get up okay. Anthony Wooding Jr. on the stop, but the damage is done. 24-yard gain on first down and into Wake territory.
Oh, great job by the offensive line opening a hole, but how about Hilleman, the power back, breaking tackles on his way for another big gain here. He's having a heck of a showing for the Eagles today.
Now and again, little issue with the substitution, so forced to call another timeout is Adazio's BC team. You know, before we were so rudely interrupted by the freshman running for another big hitter, we were getting into this Thursday night, Halloween Eve. Oh, will Louisville and Papa John's Stadium be ready for the number 2 team in the nation?
Well, Florida State's been squeaking by this season, and Louisville has a heck of a defense led by Jared Holloman in the secondary, who's one of the top interception grabbers in the nation. This team under Todd Grantham has really transformed their season. And now that they have Devontae Parker, 132 yards in his first showing. He's hungry. This guy wants to eat. Brings a new deep threat, a big play ability back to this team, which they've been missing.
Will Gardner missed some time. They've got their quarterback back. 2 scares. We had that game last weekend there in Louisville. James Quick went out, looked to be a serious injury. Lorenzo Malden, the stud on that number 1 defense in the nation, went out as well. They're both expected to play, so they look to be at full go when the mighty Florida State Seminoles roll into town. Marcus Outlow in the game. and the give is to him. Number 7, wrapped up in a hurry, can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Wendell Dunn, Markel Lee, and it's a 3-yard loss.
Oh, it's just good team defense right there. Wendell Dunn and Markel Lee. One has the force, setting the edge. Don't let the back get to the outside. And the other comes in and cleans up, racks up the tackle. This defense for Wake Forest, just so disciplined. You see there, look at these two guys, nowhere for the ball carrier to go. And that's what makes this team special. They may not be the biggest, fastest, and strongest, but they are smart and they're tough.
This time it's Willis. Play fake is to him. Murphy sets up, wants to go deep. Turned around and tied up just enough. Charlie Callahan, the defender, lost the ball. That was Bud Noel. But about 5 yards too strong after the strong-armed Murphy let it fly.
Well, he had the long strider out here. Look at him go. He's going to run a double move. He actually gets turned around twice to try to find this ball. Tyler Murphy just a bit too far, but they tried to test Bud Noel out there on the outside. Had him by a couple steps.
Tyler Rouse now the back. 2 of 4 on 3rd down. This time it's a 3rd down and 13 for the BC offense. That's Crimmins in motion. Crosses the field. Pressure late on Murphy. This is where Murphy excels. Buying time. A little pump. And he's going to have to fight, but not even close to the 1st down marker. It's Noel on the stop again.
So this is exactly what Mike Elko talked about doing. Get a negative play, create a negative play early so that you force Boston College to have to pass the ball back in a drop back scenario. That's not what they've been built to do. Excellent job flying up, making a tackle before the 1st down marker.
The 2nd straight 3 and out for this defense. They've gotten their legs underneath them. Can the offense get anything going for them? Here's Crump. And Jared Crump calls for and receives the fair catch. So not the best field position to start. They've started at the 12, 14, 20, and now the 10 when we return. 7:16 left. They're in the 2nd quarter. For the Hill here at BB&T Field. The Hills are alive in the ACC today, as it'll be filled up in Clemson, South Carolina later tonight. Syracuse going into town. The Hill, of course, under Howard's Rock there in Death Valley. Enjoying some sun. What's left of it here on this beautiful afternoon in Winston-Salem today. Trying to get some offense going. Perhaps right here on 1st down. A pickup of about 3. Coy, it is right now 10-0, but it could have easily been 17-0.
Tyler Murphy started out to his left, and then he tried to pause it right here. What do you notice? Had one wide open down the field, but sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. He was looking at 4 defenders in front of him. Never even saw Callahan wide open. Would have been a huge play. But Wake Forest defense, 2 3-and-outs in a row, got the ball back to their offense, trying to make some action.
When they talk about being on schedule, this is what they mean, Dave Clawson. 4 yards on 1st down. 2nd down, they're stuck going backwards. That's not being on schedule. It was Wojak, big Connor Wojak. Boy, is he fun to watch. He's acted a great game against Clemson last weekend in the near win. Watch number 90 in the middle. He's got to put a body on big number 90. That was just a little too easy for him, wasn't it, Coy?
Yeah, that crumpled the ball carrier there. That's a big guy. Wojak in the middle, man. It all starts with him. You're able to do so much when you have a guy there who's able to hold his ground. Look at him, got the face paint on like the Ultimate Warrior back in the day, WWF. He body slammed the back there on that play.
He needs the armbands, doesn't he? So 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Pressure picked up. Running it all the way, Wolford, and he slips out of there, but dives just about 2 yards shy of the yardage needed for a 1st down.
Well, they've been all over the field today. Stephen Daniels and crew shutting down the run game. Wake Forest trying to throw a bunch of different looks at them, trying to find a crack, a seam, something. But, boy, they have just been impenetrable. Like the wall in Game of Thrones, there's nothing getting past this defense today. Steve Adazio and Don Brown have to be proud of the way their squad is playing there on the defensive side of the ball, setting the tone and setting the tempo today for the Eagles.
So Canola again, and what almost appeared to be a prevent or a safe punt return team. That was the one thing that could have done some damage, but BC called timeout, so playing it safe right there. End over end kick, and it'll be nice field position to start again for BC with plenty of time. 4:59 on the clock. Okay, so Florida State moves on, staying alive in that hunt to be in the Final Four. And ladies and gentlemen, right here, Coy, it's finally here. Tuesday night, the first ballot will be released. Exciting times in college football, my friends.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Exciting. And how about excitement in the state of Mississippi? Mississippi State and Ole Miss, both ranked in the top 5 right now.
There you go. There's a nice defensive play. Wendell Dunn knifing through there, and the penetration disrupts everything that John Hilliman had in mind. Yeah, Coy, with the playoff crew, you talked about one Death Valley, Clemson tonight. Another Death Valley is going to be rocking there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We talk about Ole Miss.
Ole Miss has a challenge ahead of them. There's only been 3 teams that beat Les Miles' coached Tigers in Death Valley. They're going to have a challenge up against them. LSU's finally hitting their stride, getting back to some tough defense and a good old power run game. Ran the ball 51 times last week in their victory.
Keeping is Murphy. Guys on the ground. A good job of getting up to the next level and getting some guys cut to lead the way and to help move the chains. It looks like it was Darmstadt, a backup tight end. He's got Giacone, Louis Adazio, Coach Adazio's son, who started his play at Syracuse out of Buchholz High School in Gainesville, Florida. And all the guys getting involved. You got to be a pretty good blocker, not just the tight ends, but the receivers in this offense as well. So a first down in Wake territory. Alston, one move and he's gone. He moves back inside though, and that's where all the guys with the black unis are pursuing the football. Janvion was there first, Akonye in there as well. He gets outside and he's gone.
Yeah, he saw the off coverage there for Sherman Alston, and he put some shaking and baking on the defense there. Check this out. Make a Kodak moment. Cheese, take a picture, buddy. I'm going. This guy is a lot of excitement in a 5'6", 160-pound frame, but what a competitor he is. They more and more trying to get the ball in this guy's hands.
Go back to the ground in Hilliman. Looked to be no room at all, but the freshman goes right up the middle for about 7 yards. Janvion Dawson on the stop. And, well, is that... Now, Wolford was just out there. I was going to say, shoot, that's pretty exciting times for the Wolford family from Jacksonville, Florida. They've got not only a solid quarterback for Wake, but a fullback for Boston College. So second down and short. Big showing blitz. Murphy keeps it, gets outside. A first down, the chains will move, and he's out at the 20-yard line. Ziggy Allen, one of the Muck City Warriors, there to force him out, but the damage is done, and it's a fresh set.
Boston College looking solid here in their 4-minute offense when the drive started. Moving the ball down the field efficiently. Tyler Murphy's made some good reads in his zone option scheme here. In the red zone now. This is where Wake Forest defense comes up. How about 36? You talked about Bobby Wolford. There's his brother, John, on the other side of the ball. Good stop there by Wake Forest defense. Again, they really come to life in the red zone here. But Olivia, I know she has some info about us, about the Wolford family here. Olivia, what you got?
Well, guys, Bobby Wolford's offensive coordinator, Ryan Day, is familiar with this exact situation. He went up against this younger quarterback brother, but as a coach, telling me I don't envy him at all today. It's not easy to do, but Coach Clausen said John is locked into the game, but whoever wins today gets TV privileges at home this summer.
I like that. They get to hold the remote, huh?
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, that's big.
Speaking of keeping it all in the family, Adazio is in the game. Louis Adazio, but flag is down as Murphy continues to try and work. He's turned backwards by Hunter Williams. We'll have to check on this flag.
Tyler Murphy there trying to keep it alive with a spin move, and you had 2 Wake Forest defenders there to hem them up. And again, penalties have really hurt Wake Forest in this game.
You imagine losing the remote control privileges to your brother?
No.
You'd never have to play rock, scissors, paper again. You know, you could, that way you wouldn't injure your wrist in the off season. Sit at home. It's a good program. They, you know, of course, Riley Skinner back in the day was from Jacksonville. Bowles, he was from Bowles School. So many good players and so many sports that put their Bowles.
On the play. Offside, defense number 14. 5-yard penalty will be enforced. After the play ended, personal foul, defense number 48. No penalty enforced, half a distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
Costly. That's going to march it deeper into Wake territory. There's a look at Louis Adazio off to the sidelines again. The son of Coach Steve Adazio here in his second year as the head man at BC. Quite a change in the mentality of this program. Kind of changed from year to year. Remember Andre Williams, it was just his show last year. It was pretty simple. They've gotten more creative, and it's been a fun offense to watch. On the ground, the freshman looking for touchdown number 2, lunges forward. He's going to be just shy of the end zone. Thomas Brown finally there to drop him. And the clock will stop, and a timeout is called. Looks by Wake. Here's one more look.
Big Hilleman, these offensive linemen, they just wear on you. I mean, as the game goes on, they just keep hitting you over and over and over again, and eventually you get tired of it, so you might jump out of the gap, you might get out of position a bit. Next thing you know, now there's a seam, and we're starting to see that now as those big bodies start to lean on you. Just keep hitting you in the same spot over and over. Speaking of brothers, remember when your brother used to hit you over and over?
Quit hitting me, Coy.
That's what these big guys do to you. Check out the rush yards, though, in this game, Batesy. I mean, this offense, their MO, run the football. We're gonna play smash mouth in the trenches, and what they're starting to do now is develop that play action pass, that ability then to go hit you down the field. Talking to Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator for Wake Forest, he brought up how he's seen more wide open receivers running down the field for Boston College than anyone else in the nation, because the teams have to respect that run, and they just lull you to sleep over and over with that zone read, and next thing you know, Callaman or Borden or one of these guys flying down the field wide open.
Well, anybody that saw that Clemson game last weekend knows that the Clemson Tigers, one of the best teams in college ball right now, lucky to get out alive because of all those drops of receivers that were wide open. Wolford to lead the way for Hilleman. Hilleman, second effort across the goal line. Touchdown number 2 for the freshman, John Hilleman.
John Hilleman having a heck of a day here for Boston College. He had 471 yards coming into this game and 7 touchdowns, already 2 here today. Coach Adazio has to feel good about the true freshman coming in and taking that zone, that power O step, that little bucket step to let his line develop in front of him, let those guys pull and get across, and then just downhill. They're going to make sure that he did indeed get that ball across the line, but John Hilleman, a true freshman, 6 foot, 215 pounds. He's the power back. Offensive coordinator Ryan Day, his eyes lit up a bit when he talked about Hilleman being so young and having carried the load for this Boston College offense this season.
There's Chubb, you see 48 hanging on. He ends up going low. That's one thing you're taught as a defender, isn't it, Coy? You down there on the goal line, you got to tackle him up high. You got to hit him up and wrap him up high, and hope you can get a little bit of help driving those legs. But the big body of Hilleman, who's 215 pounds right now, but he's gonna pack on a little bit more weight.
After further review, the rolling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So it will stand, and you know it is a lot like an Andre Williams type of guy. 2,000 yards rushing, a Heisman Trophy finalist last year. It was a power team, and it was a very simple team. It was a simple offense, a simple approach, because they didn't have to get fancy. They did a few things, and they did them really well.
Of course, Tyler Murphy has taken a brunt of the load of that run game to replace the production of Andre Williams, but they've done it by committee. Miles Willis, Tyler Rouse, John Hilleman, Marcus Outlaw. They have a bevy of backs now this year. They'll hit you from a couple different ways in 2014.
The extra point is good off the foot of Howell. And it's 17-0, 1:15 left in the first half. Well, next week, be sure to catch ACC All Access, where we'll have the latest ACC action from around the conference every week. ACC All Access. Check your local listings. Jen Hildreth, our buddy from time to time this fall, she's getting ready to get back into the swing of things with us. She's going to have to get out those purple earmuffs and go up to upstate New York next weekend. Getting chilly up there. These folks from Boston were telling us up north. Well, it's a beautiful day still down here, down in many parts of the ACC. And Olivia Harlan will do some work during basketball season on ACC All Access. Olivia down on the field with us today. The Georgia Bulldog, her Bulldogs and my Gators, they're going to have a big one in Jacksonville next weekend. You know, speaking of Jacksonville, I don't think I finished up. I was talking about the Bowles School and didn't mention the Wolford boys are Bishop Kinney guys, of course. So, you know, we can't cross-town rivals. You can't leave those out. So, got all the Jack spaces covered, I guess.
There you go. Beautiful day here at BB&T Field. What a great setting. Got the people brought their towels and lounging out on the hillside. Getting ready to continue play here before half. It's been all Boston College on the ground this game.
They'd love to get something going here in the return game to help out an offense with not much time left in the half. It's John Armstrong, and John Armstrong, same result. Great special teams cover again by Boston College. You can join us next Saturday at noon as we head north to Syracuse as the Orange play host to the NC State Wolfpack. The race for bowl eligibility is beginning to heat up, and every game is important. Both teams need a big win to help build momentum heading down the stretch here in conference play. So join us next weekend for an ACC Atlantic Division Showdown. It's ACC College Football Saturday. So Jacoby Brissett, that hot start to this season, and that includes a game against the Florida State Seminoles. He was fantastic in the loss, but he's dipped down as of late. NC State, they have the bye week this week. A.J. Long, on the other hand, one of 5 true freshmen to start at quarterback here in the ACC, and one of those, of course, will try to lead a charge with under 1:10 to go in the first half. It's John Wolford, but the pressure is there. He's dropped again, and that's Kevin Cavalick, one of your key performers to watch here today, and a big loss. That's the 3rd sack here today for Don Brown's defense all in the first half.
Cavalick, the bottom of your screen there, he actually beat a chip block and the offensive tackle on his way to a sack. Having a heck of a game today. He's a guy we talked about to highlight, to keep your eye on him. 6'2", 255-pound sophomore. Yeah, I asked Coach Adazio, I said, Coach, on your defense, who you taking to a dark alley? He said, Kevin Cavalick. He's one of my foxhole guys. This guy is as tough as they come. We're going to show you right here why this guy is a difference maker for this Boston College defense. He's right there at the circled, and watch him. He's going to get a chip block from the tight end at first, and then he's going to beat the offensive tackle, and he actually splits a guard who got a hand on him as well. This guy gets rolling, man. He's a ball of energy. It's tough to stop.
Finishing as well. Big sophomore from, you talk about those great football programs down in the Sunshine State. Up in Ohio, St. Ignatius. That's one of the best in the country year in, year out as well. That's where he went to school. So a 2nd down and 22 now as Wake's going the wrong way. The handoff. And a quick stop on Desmond Workman. And under a minute to play here, and it's another 3rd down and long for Wake. Now you got to be careful. BC out of timeouts, fortunately, for Wake Forest, who is 0 for 4 on 3rd down.
Listen to that hit there. Coming out of the secondary with a big hit. Ty Muirmore, he's been all over the field today. Been showing up. This guy's been a playmaker out of his free safety position and getting a lot of action today. The 3rd and long here. You gotta think that Wake Forest just gonna screen or draw to get out of this situation.
There's the handoff this time to Robinson, Isaiah Robinson. And the ongoing theme, unfortunately, for this offense this year, they just have not been able to run the football at all. And that's the way they'll run out the first half clock. And it's 17-0. an offense for Boston College doing what we expected them to do, but a defense that has come on every single play and gotten after this Wake Forest offense and turned them backwards time and time again. 6 total yards for the Wake offense. Let's get it down to Olivia, who's with Coach Adazio.
Coach, you've dominated both sides of the ball right now. You have 213 yards, they have 5. What's the formula for the second half?
Well, we got to go in, we got to come back out, excuse me, and be consistent in our running game. And just keep to our plan right now. You know, I think we're playing hard. We're a little herky-jerky. We had some penalties here, and we've got to play a cleaner game. I've got to do a better job making sure that, you know, I keep us intact and in control and go in half, get our assessments, come back out, and just keep firing off the ball. Our defense is playing great. Our kids are playing hard.
Now, keeping you in track of managing this game, you called a timeout on that fake punt. What did you see there? We
had 10 guys on the field. And so I had to call that timeout. And whether they saw it and that's why they went to that fake, I don't know that, but I saw it and I had to bang it. I'm lucky I got that off. That was good fortune there.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank
James, Corey, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Olivia. His defense has held Wake to 6 total yards in the first half, but Wake will get the ball first when we return for the second.